Good evening. Yesterday, we were trying to commit this code. Okay. So there we have, um, there we had a problem. So, while we are committing, we don't have, yeah, we don't have the unique key or, the key what, which we have to create it in the Git. So the unique keys was not working. So yesterday, so I actually, I have again created a new unique key. Okay, so the developer key, from the GitHub. Okay, so let me let me try to commit with that GitHub new key right now. So team push runs to master, and mm, yeah, so it accepted the key now. So I'm just pushing it. Yep, that's it. So it pushed. Okay, so let me go back to the browser and we'll visit the GitHub now, and okay. So yesterday we created the repo name called May repo. So, and today we have a commit over there. Yeah, you can see, right? My first commit, that's what the commit name which I took yesterday, and we have committed all the classes which are present in the project. Right? You can see it everything here. Yeah, see, everything is here. Okay, so let's do one more thing. So if you wanted to still update something, that is looks like, an initial commit that we have done it. So I'm just doing that. So I can commit. Okay, and let me just save it. So whenever you save it, the change, it automatically changes. I told you there are untracked changes, so it will be asking us, them to track it. So we have to just add it to staged. Okay, add to stage or add to index, and then yeah, it will be staged. Okay, and then just give the commit message properly. Okay, and yep, add the user. Just click on commit. That's it. Okay, once you click on commit, okay, so again, there are a couple of other steps, we need to push it, to push it to the remote repository. So push branch master, okay, as we took it earlier. And if you wanted to really preview it, you can do that. Otherwise, you can just click on push. Okay, so push and just give, okay, okay, just a minute. Let me push it again. Team push master preview. Oh, then okay, just click on login. Okay, it took now something, spelling mistake. Okay, so I just pushed it. Okay, so you see here pushed, right? So that means the second commit, whatever we have done it just now, it will be present in the GitHub. Okay, so let's go there and check it. Okay, let me go there. Yeah. Okay. I just committed only. Yeah. Okay. If you see here, there is a second commit that you can see it here in the commit messages. Okay. So source and yeah. So only for main Java. Okay. So main demo is second commit. So you can also visit the changes, what exactly we have committed and all those things. You can visit. You can check it in here. Okay. And let's create a separate branch. Okay. Right now and create a branch. Okay, so I'm just creating may release. Okay, okay, so there was a new branch which was created from master, that is may release. Okay, so what I'm gonna do now, um I'm gonna push, okay, the changes whatever we have it under uh you know my see my actually my repo was created. Okay, so this meta was created under when it was connecting to the May master. So let me try to pull. Yeah, May release. Okay. Was the repo that we created just now? It is May release, right? Yeah, May release. Okay, finish. Right. And click save. Okay. So now let me go here and do just team reset. Okay. So if you see here now, you don't see any changes over here. So, but it is, I just changed it to, yeah, the reset changes. Okay, 1 second. And let me, okay, and just do a reset again. Okay, just do a reset again. Okay, and yeah, let's see now. Okay, so what I'm gonna do, I'm just going to enable this here is this may release is okay. So I have this thing again shown in my work tree. Okay, I'm just adding it to the staging, and this is my third commit for may release. Okay, and I'm gonna enter. Yeah, gonna enter and just click on commit. Okay, Yeah, so once it is committed, okay, I'm just going to push it to the branch may release. Okay, just okay, and just push. Okay, the yes, and the big password. Yep. So it just pushed, right? So where it pushed actually? So it pushed into the May release. Okay, let's go there and check it whether it pushed into the May release or not. And yeah, so if you see here, I'm into the May release and the May repo. So just doing a refresh over here. Yep, third commit of May release. Okay, so let's see we have the changes or not. Yeah, May release demo. Okay, so now you have some changes on the mirrorless demo, and you're able to complete the testing about this one. And if you wanted to create a pull request, which we wanted to do it from May release to master. So how do we need to create a pull request, right? So okay, just go to the pull request, okay, and you know see, it was showing that there is a May release branch had recent pushes 1 minute ago. So it is asking us to compare and pull request. So just click it here. That would be easy. And this is a third commit, whatever we have it here. So you can just write, uh, release changes, something. Okay. So whatever the changes, whatever we are doing, and it is going to show you the changes. Okay, what are all the changes, you have it in this code, right? So yeah, so this was the change. Okay, and just click on create a pull request. Okay, yeah, so I did not add it. When we are creating a pull request, just we need to consider some of the things. Okay, the first one is reviewers. Okay, so when we are discussing about the pull request, actually we have mentioned that kind of pull request is a discussion room, so that we need lot of reviewers has to review the code, and they can provide their valuable comments. Okay, if the code looking good or not, and all those things, if any recommendation, they are going to do all those things, right? So we have to, it's a good practice, we have to add some reviewers into the pull request, and once it is approved, then we will be good. Okay, we would be good, like to continue with the changes. Okay, but for now I don't have anyone here in the reviewer part, so I just created a pull request. Okay, without reviewers. Okay, so now the pull request has been created, right? Yeah, so if you see here, it was asking, require approval from specific reviewers before merging. Yeah, so that I need to add a rule for that, saying that okay, these are the people, which are required, to get an approval. But for now, I did not added anyone. But definitely, going forward, when you guys have created, okay, so it is a good practice to add number of users, to review your code, okay, before merging it, to the master branch. Okay, so I'm just clicking merge pull request. Okay, so and confirm merge. That's it. Okay, so there are two things. Once the changes has been merged, okay, there's a way that you can, okay, you can check it here. See, source in the source start commit for May release. So this was present now. That means the code has been whatever we committed in the May release branch. Okay, it was present in the master branch also right now. After the commit. Sorry, after the pull request, right? So this is one. Immediately actually GitHub tells that okay, so the changes has been merged. Do you really think like you need the branch whatever you have created, because the changes were done, and you can also delete that branch, or you can also create, you can also utilize that branch for further purpose, right? So yeah, so for now I'm just gonna keep it like this, okay, and that's it, right? So let's see. Okay, so if I go back and check. Okay, yeah, so it's done, right? We were able to create a pull request, and um, we were able to pull that thing, and um, that pull request has been approved. Now the code changes are available in the master branch as well, right? So yeah, I think that's it. Like whenever we have some pull requests or something, we just for we should not to forget to add those approvers, to get those code changes reviewed by the peers. Okay, so and wait for their recommendations or comments, whatever it is, and then once everything is done, it can be used. Okay. Okay, so with this, like the commits, we were able to learn about committing and staging those files and all those steps. We are doing it with the GUI component of Eclipse plugin for Git, and the same way that we can utilize for everything. Okay, and yeah, and most probably, like we have to we have to create the pull request whenever we need it, the changes from one branch to other branch. Okay, so like whatever we have it done for May release, and once everything is done, we have to create a pull request that will copy all the changes back to the master branch. Okay, yeah, that's all from the GitHub. Okay, so let's go back and yeah, let's go back to the PPT and we'll cover the next topic. Okay. Uh, okay. Now, the next topic is a little bit, you know, same, whatever we are discussing right now, but that is under GitLab. Okay. So what exactly is GitLab, right? So till now, whatever we have done, okay. So we were just, working on the same way. One second. Just stopping the sharing. Just a minute. Yeah. So what exactly is GitLab, right? There is one thing that we need to remember whenever we are, pushing some code, right? Every time when we push the code, to the repository, you know, it requires, a build, okay? So which can generate the jar files of your application, right? So similarly, GitLab provides an automated environment, to push, those kind of things, okay, for the deployment, okay. So how it is going to do? Yeah, we are going to just check it on one small example. How the how the commands that we are trying to utilize it here, and how it is performing those things inside the when we are trying to build the application, or when we are trying to push the application something. So it is going to show you the step-by-step process of how the jar file has been created and how it has been deployed, to the application, right? The server, correct? So let's see those things, and we can also automate all these steps, once you have the commit ready in the GitLab. That's it. It is going to trigger all the rest of the things, with the help of pipeline setup, right? So let's see all those things, and we'll just go with an example for now. And that example, which is, we are going to check it on for the car. Okay. Yeah, I already have a car, project over here, and I just configured this as YAML file. Okay, and if you see here, the YAML file is GitLab ci.yaml. And for now, what I'm gonna do, I'll just go back into the repository, and let's see how many repositories that we have it. Okay. Okay, so these are the three projects that we have done it. Okay, and let's go ahead and create a new one. Okay, for us, and we'll start from there. Okay, so instead of going and creating a new one, we'll just try to edit the same YAML file. Okay, So before starting anything, at least we'll try to understand how the YAML file works, and then we can continue on our pushbacks, right? Okay. So the first one is in the YAML file. Okay, so something it looks like this syntactical way. Okay, so it is very simple. Okay, to write a YAML file. Okay, so just decide like what kind of things that you need to do it, right? So the first one is, we might be having several stages. Okay, so the stages is kind of let's say build, test, and deploy. And there is a scan if you wanted to do it, check mark scan or something else, sonar scan, so all those things, you can write it under the stages. And for each and every stage, okay, so we are going to write, separate stage information. Okay, and in that, we are going to mention all the related information which is going to help the build of those, you know the build of those you know um, steps, right? Like, so let us consider the build stage over here. So what we are trying to do it here, right? We are just trying to build a car, right? So whenever it is building a car, okay, so what we are going to do, we're going to create a build directory. Okay, and in the build directory we are going to navigate to it, build directory, and we are just creating a car.txt with command called touch, right? So car.txt will be, just now for consider it as a car. And inside the car, what we need to write, we have to be there chassis. Okay, chassis, and it requires engine, and it requires wheels. So all those things we are just going into the car.txt, right? So that means your car initial build is completed, and there is a car.txt file which was created under build. Okay, so where we need to create an artifact, right? From where we need to create an artifact. So that thing, what we need to do, we have just mentioned that artifacts, and the path we need to mention where exactly your artifact has been created. So it is under build slash. So we should be good. And now the second part of it, right? The second part of it is test the car, right? We wanted to test it, like whether it is really copied, and also there are like, yeah. So there are, if we have some recommendation, yeah, we have to change it. Okay. So test the car is the next stage that we are going to write it. So the stage is test, and whatever you write it here, we were trying to validate the test dot car dot txt which was created in the build stage, right? So what I'm trying to do, I'm just trying to use ls list command, and then I'm just trying to verify whether the build, under the build, do we have a car.txt or not. Okay, so I'm just testing with that command, right? So if the file exists, it is going to move ahead, to the build command. Okay, so the cd build will happen, and then there are three strings that we are trying to search in the car.txt using a grep command. Okay, so these are the two stages for now, which we have it under the GitLab. Okay, so this is the YAML file. Okay, so if you wanted to trigger the YAML file and to verify whether these things are working fine or not. Okay, so there are other things that we need to do. Now build test has been completed, the stages. There would be one more thing which we can write it as deploy, and you can deploy the changes or deploy the jar file, whatever you have created here, just above in the build. Okay, so you can just deploy that one into a server, right? So dev server or application server, whatever we can. So that comes under the next stage, okay, which we are going to discuss once we have the Maven projects, some sample projects which are ready, and then we're going to check about that deployment process. Okay. Until then, just consider this as an example. So several stages inside, or outside the build, and that would really help, to create, perform these two stages for now, build and test, and later we can see how the deploy is going to work. Okay, let's start. Okay, so when you see it here, okay, so this is our GitLab.c, yeah, GitLab CI.yaml. And okay, so there are some CI/CD pipelines, okay, and so there are a lot of other, sorry, yeah, there are a lot of things that you are seeing it here, okay, so all are working fine, and it just, some of them are failed, some of them are passed. Okay, so let's see, about our thing, right? Just let me go back to the car, and okay, yeah, I'm just saving it. Okay, so whenever I commit the changes, okay, so what it is going to do, it is just going to add those changes over there, and whenever we have this commit happen, okay, immediately it is going to push the build, okay, in the CI/CD pipelines. Okay, so let's go and check it. Okay, yeah, so if you see here, this is, there is a update.gitlab which is running right now. So let's see, there are two stages. One stage is already completed, it says build passed, and a test is running. Okay, so these are the two stages, and once the test is completed, we will go there inside, and we'll verify what exactly it has done. Okay, so just give a couple of minutes, okay, to complete the test stage, and then we'll go ahead and we'll check it. Okay, so if you see here, it's done, both stages are done, and at the right side corner you can see this one, right? So what it is saying, download artifacts. Okay, that means whatever we have created under the YAML file, for build and test. Okay, so you know those are, for performing test, you we required, the service IDs and all, right? So those, artifacts, whatever we have it under the GitHub. Okay, so GitLab. So those artifacts will be downloaded, you know, uh, into the into your local folder, right? So what are all the artifacts that you see it here under it? So we have, you know, artifacts. We have an, artifact name called core.txt, because in the build we were trying to generate a car.txt, so which was already done. So the car.txt will be our artifact. Okay, so if you see here, build the car. Okay, Okay, so let me, yeah, so if you see here, it downloaded that artifacts, right? If you go inside of it and then if you check that artifact, okay, yeah, so it just downloaded the build folder. Under the build folder, it should be the car.txt. And if you open the car.txt, you'll see the commands, whatever we have it under this chassis, engine, and wheels, right? So let me go back. Okay. So there are two stages that we are talking about. So first stage is build and the second stage is test, right? So the state test and build, whatever the stages that you're talking about. So just go inside of it and just check it what exactly it has done. Okay, so if you see here, this is the complete thing, for the build first step, right? It is building our car.txt. So there are a lot of things that you observe here in the logs. Okay, so generally it is going to create a virtual machine for you. Okay, so VM, and then in the VM, actually the build is going to happen. So the first step that we have done is creating a directory, which is build. And once the build is created, we have just added that build. We just navigated to that build, and we created a file called car.txt, and inside that car.txt we just added all the steps which are related to you know uh, yeah, so which we added all the steps, like echo, wheels, engine, chassis into the car.txt, and that is the final artifact we have created in the first step. Okay, so the car.txt has been created and it uploaded to the artifacts folder, right? So once it is there in the artifacts, okay, so it jump into the second, right? It jump into the second, yeah, so it jumped into the second stage, you can say that, right? So the first one is completed and the second one is test, right? So let's go and check it what exactly it has done in the test Dakar. Okay, so when you see it here, it again created a virtual machine, and it just gave you that system, and before that it executes the exact process, right? So if you see here now, what we are trying to do, we were trying to test whether the file really exists under the build.xml or not. Okay, the under the build folder, the car.txt, and then it once the car.txt exists, okay, then it went into the next steps, like to trying to find out whether the required information under the car.txt was found with myself, right? So all these three things, we were able to search it in the car.txt, and everything returns true. Then we don't require, like to perform something on this. Okay, so hope it is clear for you guys. Like these are the two steps that we are going to discuss about build and test. Okay, and in future you are going to check on the uh, build and yeah. So in the future we are going to just add one more extra step over here to build a new jar file, and depending on your repo, you can just build a jar file, and that jar file can be pushed into several places, and you can also edit some of the things whatever you need it for the dashboard. Yeah, you can do that. Okay, so this is how like GitLab has going to work for the creating pipelines and for deploying your code into certain environments, GitLab is going to help us. Okay, so that's all for today. If you have any questions or something about GitHub and GitLab, let me know. And from tomorrow we're going to work on those MVC design pattern and we'll continue the spring. Okay, yeah, that's all for today, and thank you.